The biggest thing was I thought I was working hard and I wasn't working hard enough. Like there was this level of hard work that I just hadn't touched yet. Not because I didn't want to, but because it's just like I didn't have the pressure or the standard being right in front of my face every single day. When you feel like you've like ran into a wall, it's like figuring out how to get through that.
Want to dive in and support what they've gone through.
I think it's really frustrating. I think that like the word that comes to my mind is like, it's disgusting because that's how I feel. When I think about my own situation, it's almost like I wasn't in the same light. And I don't know why, if I was just shy because I was just shy or because I knew that I had a secret. This bad thing happened to me, but I don't need to make it always be bad.
What do you see as some of the biggest obstacles that has to be worked out in order for you guys to get back on the court?
Fighting for our worth. That's something that we've been doing since the beginning. The growth that we've made has been unlike any other.
You're very humble, but you know how damn gangster it is to start your own league and then go sign yourself and win a championship?
Tons of pressure. We didn't handle it well last year. Winning a championship is hard, but defending a championship is a different level. So I've won before my kids were here, but now I want to win again so my kids can see me do that.
Hold up, limitless, niggas to me cap pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, get me up. On a mission, get me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless, niggas to me cap pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant.
She got to get her Montessori parent swag up.
I said to my wife, I said, what did you wear to this? I was like, can I wear sweats? She said, no, I wear jeans. I was like, okay, so 7 a.m. to get dressed this morning.
I actually had having a conversation with our producer, Alicia. I was like, she's going to wear sweats.
Wow.
Because I was trying to figure out what I was going to wear. I was like, she a hooper. I was like, hoopers always wear sweats.
My wife and your wife would be friends. 'Cause we got those early morning teacher conferences.
Yeah.
She's putting on slacks and a matching shirt, and I'm like, hey.
And we wake up at 7. Like, we wake up at 7. We have to be out the door by 8, get them ready, eat. They eat lunch or eat breakfast. We have to have coffee. I'm like, how am I supposed to do all of this?
And be dressed.
And be dressed.
Yeah, put on a collar shirt. Man, hell with that. These people, and we paying them? I don't ever pay nobody to dress up. This ain't a public school.
Well, welcome to a championship pivot. Breanna Stewart. This is Fred Taylor. This is Channing Crowder. I'm Ryan Clark. Pivot fam, thank you for pivoting with us. Well, so now you've made history, right? So NCAA, WNBA, Olympic gold, and unrivaled champion, right? First person to ever do it. I mean, I'm sure some other people will do it as Unrivaled continues to grow and you guys have more seasons. And we'll get into that. But I want to talk about this sort of dunk against Baldwinsville, right? Because one, you shouldn't have been out there with those young ladies, Breanna.
Why? Where should I have been?
You took the ball from like a 5'1" point guard and then went down and dunked it with your left hand. When you were in high school here and playing ball and the buzz started to grow about you, what was it like starting to receive the calls from the Gino Auriemmas and the other huge college coaches in places that you always wanted to play?
Yeah, I think that we weren't prepared. Like my family and I, we had no idea. I started playing basketball because I used to follow my dad to the downtown Y, and he was the one playing pickup, and I was just there running around with the kids, and eventually like I tried it out, and I met some of my best friends. And as I learned to be competitive, and basically I was trying to like not suck. I was in practice like mad that I couldn't dribble the ball between my legs. We used to have this drill, like go to half court, do a move. Go to the other end, do a move. So I would be in my basement, like learning how to dribble between my legs, which eventually led me to dribbling the ball around my block. And when you do that for the first time ever, your neighbors look at you like, who is this girl and why is she bouncing this ball around and around and around the block? So to answer your question, I received my first offer from Syracuse University. And then after that, it seemed like the floodgates really opened up. And, you know, you guys know, it's like letters and letters and letters. And this was the time where coaches could call you or your parents a little bit, but like not as much or crazy as it is now. But yeah, it was a wild time.
All those moments of going around the block again and again and again, enough repetition. When did you realize it was turning you into something different?
I think I realized it was making me be different, turning me into something different when not everybody else was doing that. You know what I mean? My dad first suggested me to dribble around the block, and I was kind of like, no, like, Dad, this is dumb. when have you ever heard anybody dribble around the block? And he was like, it's gonna make you be better and like gonna help you. And eventually, like all kids, you give in to your parents. I was like, fine, I'll do it. And it became my thing. It's like a place where I could put my headphones on, dribble, and just not think about anything else. And I think the combination of that, then obviously I go to UConn and with Coach Oyema, and you build this mindset and this mental toughness where I know that I just am doing things differently than everyone else.
You now being a parent and your father, like you're saying, making you, not telling you, making you dribble around. Was there any uncomfortable, times where you had to be comfortable being uncomfortable? Because a lot of athletes we talk to, that dad that pushes, it gets overwhelming sometimes. You got to be coach, you got to be dad, you got to be teacher sometimes and all that. Was there some comfortable time in your life?
Yeah, I think that the uncomfortable time was my dad was telling me the things that I didn't want to hear. Basically the things that I needed to be better at. And it's like in hindsight, you want to know those things. You want somebody close to you to tell you what you need to be better at instead of someone that you don't know. But it was like, I remember having these vivid moments of like my mom and my grandma be like, you're doing great, sweetie, like great job. And my dad is like, no, you're not being aggressive enough. Like you're not shooting the three. It took me like years in high school to like really shoot the three. Like I just wouldn't shoot it because I was like, well, I'm used to rebounding and blocking shots because I had the length early. And my dad was somebody that just really pushed me to kind of develop my game because he knew I wanted to be great. And he was like, this is what you want, so this is how I'm gonna help you.
Did your dad get to pick your name? Who picked your name? No,
my dad is not my biological dad.
Got you.
But he is my dad.
Right.
So like anybody that asks me, like that's the dad that I know. Because I don't think blood always matters.
I agree.
My aunt basically picked my name. Yeah, I don't know. Like my mom had me when she was like younger, and I remember the story of my mom asked my aunt's high school softball team like what name they like better, Breanna or Mackenzie, and they said Breanna, and my middle name is Mackenzie. So
you definitely are Breanna, not a Mackenzie. I have a question. Today, in today's podcast world, right? Like podcast beef has become a big thing. As someone who grew up a North Carolina fan, how much does it hurt you that McCants and Ray Felton are beefing now over workouts?
It hurts me a lot, honestly. I literally loved North Carolina. And like those two especially were the ones that I watched. I remember being in front of the TV, like national championship game, watching Raymond Felton, Rashad McCants, like go at it,
Go to work.
Try to go to work, like get it done. And listen, they have too many things, too many bonds, too many probably trauma bonds from college. They come back together. Come back together.
Somebody got to get him in the room. I want to go back to Channing's question really quick, the father question, because he asked that question because he is that father. His daughter is so athletic and she's so amazing. She plays in multiple sports. So I think he's trying to find the sweet spot and knowing how your dad approached everything. Is there anything you can share with him?
Yeah.
Because I'm talking about personal trainers, practice. Yeah. She's at IMG right now.
Cool.
She plays on AAU teams, and we're getting her.
How old is she?
7th grade.
Oh, nice.
13 years old.
Still young.
One-on-ones with personal training. But we talked about on the show where my goal is to make my children. My son's at IMG playing baseball as well. Yeah. Just like I don't want it more than them, but I really do want to make them successful in sport.
Yeah. I mean, I think my advice is you can't want it more than them. Right. And you know that. Like, if this is the passion that they want and you help them as much as you can to get to where they want to be, but if there's ever a moment where she's like, hey, Dad, maybe I want to try, I don't know, volleyball. Like, you just have to do it. You got to switch that. Yeah. You got to learn everything you know about volleyball and try to figure that out. But I think that it's a tough topic because you see a lot of parents really trying to really be invested in their kids, but to the point where it's you see the kid and they're like, well, they don't want this.
Right.
Yeah.
But, it seems your kids are at IMG, so they got to be loving what they're doing with all the beautiful facilities. That's where our bubble was. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
At IMG.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice facility.
Nice facility. Yeah. We used to stay there's a hotel, and then there's some little houses like across the street or something. Yeah. That's where we were.
Legacy Hotel.
Yeah.
They hit you in the head. Boy, they hit you in the head. It's funny you said that you were raised. You're really your stepdad.
Yeah.
Is your dad? You say.
Yeah, exactly.
We hear a lot of stories where there's a successful child that had a parent not there.
Yeah.
And then you start winning 4 national championships and being MVP of everything you ever touch, and that person comes back around all of a sudden. Has your biological dad ever reached out?
He's tried, especially when I was in high school. I remember randomly trying to show up to games or make the attention about himself. Or when I was at UConn and we played at MSG, sitting across from the team bench, so then I would have to make eye contact with him and see him. But I think that where I'm at with that is I'm good. Mm. I love the people that are in my life, and my dad, like I said, my dad is my dad. And I think, would he be giving me the same type of situation or whatever if I was working at McDonald's? Yep. You know what I mean? Would that be the case? So then it's I don't need it. Yeah. You can't just come around when I'm when everything's all dandy and good. No, it doesn't work like that.
And it's so many too. It's so many, the things that bring families together. Yeah, it is the good times, right? It is the celebration, but it's also fighting through the tough times and knowing that somebody's going to be there for you when the lights aren't shining or things aren't great. You mentioned Gino and the mindset that can put in an athlete, and I love the way that he treats Diana, Sue, Breanna, Paige, all y'all the same, right? He's going to coach you hard. What are some of the lessons that you had to learn as a young, highly recruited basketball player once you stepped on to the campus with Gino Auriemma?
I had to learn a lot. I think that the biggest thing was I thought I was working hard, and I wasn't working hard enough. There was this level of hard work that I just hadn't touched yet. Not because I didn't want to, but because it's just I didn't have the pressure or the standard being right in front of my face every single day. So that and the mental toughness. Listen, Coach Auriemma will try to break you to build you back up stronger. And especially my freshman year, you guys know, once you lose your mental toughness part of it, you don't know which way is left or right. Yeah. I was I don't even know if I can confidently say I can make a layup right now. But it's kind of when you feel like you've ran into a wall, it's figuring out how to get through that. Not just stopping, but fighting against it. And that's what I'm most proud of from UConn is obviously the wins, but the mental side.
How has those things sort of shaped you as a person? Recently, you made a statement, abolish ICE. Yeah. Right? And I'm a person who is really big about standing up for what I believe is right. Yeah. And there are often times I get phone calls, hey man, you should go back to your likability, right? You should think about some of these things you say and how people are going to see you. Mm-hmm. And I'm well, the people I'm speaking for, that's who I care, whether or not they see me in the light I want to be seen in. What is it about you that's allowed you to see, in some ways outside of yourself, to speak for people who don't have the platform or voice that you've built for yourself?
It didn't happen when I was in high school. It didn't happen when I was in college. But when I was a pro, I started to get comfortable in my own skin. I started to kind of figure out who I was going to be. And I would give a huge shout out to Sue Bird because of that. I saw her find her comfort and her find her happiness and joy. So then my rookie year, I remember being in my team housing apartment and talking to my agent hey, listen, this happened to me. I'm a victim and a survivor of sexual abuse, and I don't want to share my story because I want people to be oh, I'm so sorry, but I want to use my platform to help others. So I think starting with things that are directly affecting me and speaking on that is important. You hear people talking about speak your truth and that type of thing. I know what I want to stand up for. I know what I see, and holding that abolish ICE sign at Unrivaled was important because it's not a political message anymore. It's literally a human rights message. And in no way should anybody be shot on the streets or be killed in the city that they live in. So really just hoping that we can find other ways to kind of bring communities together rather than have like fear and violence.
How big is it for you now? You the OG. So you got all these puppies coming up.
Yeah.
You know, the Angels and
Yeah.
the Caitlins and all the puppies coming up behind you. For you to be, outspoken or, like saying, speak your truth,
Yeah.
so that they know they have the platform as well and they can keep it going as they come up and my daughter, the young girls come up, that now you have a voice and let's use it.
Yeah, I think just showing them, leading by example, but if they have kind of questions behind closed doors, like also just kind of talking them through it. Angel, you see her, she's constantly using her platform, even the me bounds, the way that people were trying to bully her online for kind of getting these doubles and that type of thing. She used it to her benefit to then help people going through cyberbullying or that type of thing. So I think that, the younger generation, they definitely are more aware because social media is like more present than ever, and they just need to learn to be themselves. Like I feel like when it's authentic, everybody knows that it's real.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
You can feel it.
How frustrating is it to you see these women that are also survivors of sexual abuse and all this stuff, of those freaky files. I don't want to say the other person's name.
Yeah.
How frustrating is it for you to see that, they're actually just pushed to the side and people don't really want to dive in and support, what they've gone through?
I think it's really frustrating. I think that like the word that comes to my mind is like, it's disgusting, because that's how I feel. When I think about my own situation, it's almost like I wasn't in the same life because it's so far back, and when things happen, you kind of block them out of your memory. So I believe like some parts of my trauma, my brain is like subconsciously like not having me remember
like
on purpose.
Black holes in your memory.
But I think that to people that are the victims of sexual abuse or anything like that, like those are the ones we have to be looking out for. Because it's not only the trauma that you have gone through right then, like literally the sexual abuse part, but it's like the mental for afterwards, for carrying that weight. And luckily for me, I had a great circle around me. Like I remember when I was younger, I couldn't sleep because I was just always thinking about like what was happening. And I remember I walked into my mom's room and told her like, hey, listen, so-and-so is like touching me down there. Like that's literally what I said. My mom was shocked. But then my mom and my dad like went right into action. They called 911 and all these things. And that night was a blur, but I had basketball practice that night.
You still win.
And I still went. And my dad, he would be the one that was just checking on me, like, hey, do you want to talk about this? Should we go talk to someone? And I always said no, because that was just my choice. But you need somebody there to ask. So I hope the victims are having people in their corner and in their circle making sure that they're okay now.
There's so many, what Fred was talking about, not being supported, not being believed, being shamed, victim blaming. There's so many things that victims of sexual abuse not only have to deal with unpacking the trauma of what was done to them physically and emotionally, but also the outside perception or treatment once they do come forward. As an 11-year-old, and you walk into your mom's room to tell her that, how did you build the strength to finally go to her about what was happening to you? Because I think that's such a powerful story for many who are still holding on to the weight of never having spoken up about what was done to them.
Yeah, I think that, I can't tell you exactly what was going through my mind, but I remember just wanting to be able to sleep. You know what I mean? And to kind of get it off my chest and my shoulders. And as an 11-year-old, that's not fair. And it's not fair to any of these victims that it's happening to, because unfortunately it's all different ranges of age. But it was something that I thought about for enough nights and enough times, and I was like, I just got up and I did it. So at some point, you just have to get up and do it.
After that, after telling your mother and father going into action, how long did it take to, I don't say normal, but get back to being Stewie? You know what I'm saying? Little Stewie.
Yeah.
But like, you know, that process of it, because like RC was just saying, it's a lot of people going through it.
Yeah. I don't know if I can put like a timeline on it, because I think that, you know, when you're younger, you don't always remember all the things from your childhood. I just remember like being able to be a kid, you know, and not really having to kind of be this shy kid that I was. And I don't know why, if I was just shy because I was just shy or because I knew that I had a secret. But I think after that, I was able to open up and enjoy things a little bit more and not be afraid. So I don't know. I don't have like a timeline for you, but
there was a change, though.
Yeah, there was a change. And like, listen, it took from when I was 11 to when I was 23, you know, to really come full circle and realize like, okay, this bad thing happened to me, but I don't need to make it always be bad. Somehow I can turn it into being able to help others. And everyone has a different journey. Everyone has something else that they're going through. So why not use that to just help others?
Yeah, when I initially read it in Players Tribune, actually, it was just powerful. I think to be able to control and tell your own story and not have people see you as this victim, but see the strength in which you presented. I believe there are so many women who can benefit from that sort of strength. I mean, it's difficult to transition out of that when you're having a conversation, but I want to fast forward to now, you know, and speak of professional adversity, right? The WNBA has always sort of been continuing or sort of fighting to show its validity, right? The excitement that you guys bring in the game, the skill level in which you play with, the entertainment value of it. And then now you're going at it with trying to negotiate a CBA based on where the WNBA game is today, where the game has grown. What do you see as some of the biggest obstacles between yourselves and the owners that has to be worked out in order for you guys to get back on the court?
So like all transparency, we have a CBA meeting today with the league. So at 4 o'clock, like me and a few EC members, executive committee members are gonna go and meet the league and their LRC, which is like their ownership group. And I think the biggest thing is fighting for our worth. And that's something that we've been doing since the beginning. You know, the league is young. The league is 30 years young. But the growth that we've made has been unlike any other. It's literally been like skyrocketing. So we want to be able to really take advantage of that and make sure that we're not the ones getting left behind anymore, if that really makes sense. And I think there's a lot of ways that I can kind of explain this. I think for one, we are now in a rev share model. No matter where we kind of iron it out to be, we are in a rev share, which is huge because the money that's coming in, the players will be a part of it. But I think the biggest difference is figuring out exactly what number, what percentage we can be at. And, you know, as you guys probably know, that's been our 17, 18-month fight. You know, we're getting close. Like, it's March. Season's supposed to start, training camp's supposed to start in April, and we don't want to push back or delay, but we also have the strike authorization vote ready for if we need it.
When Napheesa, who is your teammate from UConn, obviously one of the best players in the world, your partner in creating Unrivaled, at the end of her season, when she pulls out that piece of paper and tells the world, this is what has been going on. These are the things that we have been told to our face, that I was told face to face. How important was that singular conversation for the WNBA and its players?
I think Fee just being honest was extremely important because it kind of let people know or shed some light on what we've been going through, what we've been dealing with from between the player side and the league side, and knowing that we're not going to do it anymore. You know, we are all powerful women's basketball players, but we know our place in life. And, you know, from Fee's perspective, as a co-founder of Unrivaled, like, she understands how businesses work. Mm-hmm. We understand how a business works, and we want it to work in the WNBA. But there is no more, like, trying to trick us or, you know, trying to get away with doing these things. Like, everything needs to make sense. Mm-hmm. And I thought Fee's message was really strong and kind of set the tone for how these negotiations were going to continue to unfold.
Yeah, Channing called you the OG, which means, you know, you got all this experience and you're good. I mean, you're plastered everywhere. You got the Stewies, you got your own shoes, all these brand deals. You're pretty set, and you don't have to really dig into this fight.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, I think the one thing is passion of the torch. Yeah. In these negotiations with your CBA, is it more important that you look out for yourself, fight for yourself, yeah, or fight for the next generation?
Yeah, I think what my mindset in these negotiations are not to fight for myself, because like you said, I'm gonna be good. You know, that Supermax number is pretty high. So no matter what way you look at it, it's gonna end up being pretty good. What I wanna make sure is that it's affecting the rest of the people to be just as good. And it's the job. It's a hard balance because, you know, when you look at the numbers from the league's proposal, it's like, okay, this is a huge increase in every category, but it's still not enough. And making sure that, you know, we are all aware of both sides. That's what I want to do, is I want to make all players aware of both sides, both models, because they're a little bit different, and then players can come up with their own bias. Mm-hmm. And from there, then we have these conversations and these negotiations and these discussions. But we have work to do still.
Being on the executive board and being an NFL PA committee member during our negotiations, especially during the lockout, they get to this point where they go, look how far we brought you from this. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And you have to relate to them, well, we also didn't feel that was right. Yeah. Right? And not only are you, it's no longer what or how you were treating us, but it still isn't the way you should be treating us based on our value. Right. And I think that's the more difficult sort of point to convey to them, because they're gonna come in with their talking points feeling like, hey man, we're giving y'all enough, right? And it's finding a way to convince them that it's better for both you and them if we get to a point where this is truly a partnership. Yes. And that's what the goal is.
Watching from the outside looking in, like you said, it's 18 months to me. Yeah. I didn't know how, upset you were. I didn't know how off it was, and now you're getting all the information. Yeah. What catalyst is this? Like, it started in '97, WNBA, and it's never been this rough. Yeah. It's never been these negotiations. What catalyst, y'all be wearing the shirts before the games? Yeah. Like, something had to start that. What started that?
So any CBA before this, right, there was no rev share. It was basically like, this is your money, this is how much you have, this is your cap, and it doesn't grow based on the revenue growing. It's more like a set number, and you used to negotiate like the dollars that was going to be in that. So now that it is a rev share, the league is trying to negotiate this SBI, which is the shared basketball income, and we're trying to figure out, the union is asking for gross. We want a gross percentage, and then you take out your expenses after. So it's like having those two things is completely different, the SBI versus the gross. And I know the NFL is the only league that negotiates in gross. Mm-hmm. So it's figuring out how we can do that and also still give the league, who's 30 years young, opportunity to still grow as a business, still have enough for expenses, still have enough to have these minimum standards that we want, or practice facilities, or chefs, or charters, or nice hotels, and that type of thing. Yeah, it's been a little bit back and forth.
Is that you and Fee?
Yeah, Fee and
sitting down like, hey,
Fee-
man, hell with this.
Yeah.
Because this even mine more, Lisa Les, I can go back,
Yeah.
you know. Like, it never happened. It never happened
Yeah.
early 2000s.
Right.
It never happened mid, you know what I'm saying? Like, now it seems like it amped up to a different level, and that's what I was just trying to get clarity on.
Yeah, it's definitely a completely different level. I think that even in prior like CBA negotiations, the money has always gone up a little bit, right? When I first came into the league, the max was 110,000, right? In the last CBA, the max was finished at 240.
Yep.
So like it was jumping, but it had nothing to do with rev. So now it's like the max right now is projected 1.2. That's a huge jump.
Different world.
Different world. Completely
world.
different world. And I think that from the EC, like Fee and I are on the EC, also NECA, also Bree Turner, Elizabeth Williams, Alicia Clark, and Kelsey Plum. We're trying to make it make sense from a business model for all sides, because we know that as the players grow, the league grows, and vice versa, but not settling for anything less.
I think I've read some teams are profitable and some aren't.
Yeah.
But across the board, where does that stand as a league, and how does that impact your negotiations?
Yeah, honestly, majority of teams are not profitable. They're like close to breaking even, and that's okay. Like, I think I'm not the business person for the team, but I think that, you know, sometimes you have to go down to go up. You have to lose money to make money.
Right.
New York, for example, will try to create the best fan and player experience, even if it's not going to make a positive in year one, but they want to make a positive in year 5 or year 6. So it's a business investment, and I think that that's the goal is all teams want to eventually be in the green. But know that it's gonna be a slow thing. Like, even if the numbers are higher than they ever were, it's not gonna be directly affected to year 1 or year 2 or year 3.
You know, you talked about like the negotiations being at a different point than they've ever been between the players and the league. The game is also at a different point. The individual popularity of the players, the visibility of the players. And so I think when all of those things do start to change, then the conversation got to be different. I mean, that's logical, right? That's business. But as you go to Unrivaled, I remember like the first time I even heard about it, I was like, this is a great idea. And the other piece of it is those names, anytime I'm on social or I see it, I'm like, I know her, I know where she plays, right? I know she's with Aces, I know she's with the Liberty.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell and know who these players are. What sort of created that idea and made it a reality for you and Fee as you work together?
Yeah, I mean, we're really proud of Unrivaled and where it's come just even in the past 2 seasons. But the goal was creating a place where players could make money and be home and build their brands. Because before, it was like you didn't know what people were doing in the off season. There was like almost like a 7-month blackout where it's like, maybe you knew I was in China, but you couldn't watch the games. Like, my grandparents would wake up and watch the play-by-play. They couldn't even watch the game. You know, like when it's just like, this one made a layup, this one.
Right. Stewie scores too.
Yeah. So we wanted to create a space for that. And we wouldn't have been able to do it without, obviously, all the people behind the scenes, but the players buying in and being confident that we could really bring this thing and get it off the ground. So I always have to like shout out the inaugural season players, because you put yourself on the line for a little bit, because you didn't know if it was going to be an automatic success or not. And players came and they really played hard, showed up,
they hooped.
and had a lot of fun doing it. So I think that was our goal. Obviously, I think it's really cool that we can have different brands than what the league has, because there is no red tape about, oh, well, NBA's with them, so W has to be with them. We're able to have completely different partners and let them be in the women's basketball space as well.
First of all, I think the name is dope. Unrivaled is just amazing. The concept is dope. Shout out to Philly. You guys broke records this year.
That was really dope.
Yeah, that was real good. But the NIL piece of it, like that's huge for the college girls. So how did that part play into everything?
With the NIL, we wanted to basically do what everyone else is doing with college players. Like give them an opportunity to collab with our brand and come and show support and vice versa, and it goes back. And hopefully all of these NIL players that we have, when they turn pro, they'll want to play in Unrivaled as well and enjoy it because it's fun. It gives you a little bit of a different kind of mindset as far as like on the court, what you're spacing, where you're going to get your shots because there's 2 less people.
Right.
And also you get an opportunity to get better. That's one of the most important things is when you were playing overseas, you would just go, right? You didn't have time to work on your game. And now some of these rookies that are coming in, you get hit in the face with the WNBA.
Right.
Because you're like, whoa, it's bigger, faster, stronger, all this stuff. Like, how can I get there? How can I acclimate myself right away? Well, now at Unrivaled, we give you the space to really work on your game. You don't have to play games all the time. We're focused on player development as well.
Did you know the stud buds would be better at podcasting than one-on-one?
Listen, I can't say nothing because in the first year, I got routed too.
You got routed too? Come on, Stewie.
Don't show those highlights on here, by the way.
It's a different game, clearly, right? When you play one-on-one. Like, how serious, though, do y'all take the one-on-one part of it? Because to me, I would have so much pride. Like, I would be fouling.
Yeah.
Like, the level of defense I would try to play in that. When you guys created that idea, did you realize, like, how much fun or how big of a part of Unrivaled that would be?
Well, I think with one-on-one, we wanted to be different. You know, you think when you go play pickup, right? Usually it's 3-on-3, and then you'll have like side games of people just playing ones.
'Cause you got beef.
Yeah.
Though. Yeah.
Try and stop me. Like try and do this.
Right.
So to have Sprite give $200,000 for the winner, like Chelsea Gray won $200K because she won the one-on-one tournament, which is nuts.
Right.
More than her W salary.
Wow.
Crazy. You just playing, you know, and you're competitive. Do you need money to make you be more competitive? Probably not, but it doesn't help. I mean, it does help.
Yeah.
It makes things a little bit more interesting, and I think it gives players a space to really show what they got.
Yeah, but when you get beat like they got beat or like you got beat, how much trash talk is there when you don't score like no points?
Yeah. When I didn't score any points, and I was like, what the fuck just happened to me? But that's what happens in one-on-one. If you don't hit shots, it's gonna be long but short game for you. I think there's probably a little bit of strategy to like, listen, you want to make your first 2 shots, because then you're 4 points ahead.
Right.
It's a little bit harder to kind of close that gap.
You're very humble, but you know how damn gangster it is to start your own league and then go sign yourself and win a championship. Like, do you ever do that? Because you're always, putting on other people, helping other people out. That's some gangster shit there.
I mean, shout out to my Misties. You guys didn't give me any time to shout out my Misties yet. The first year with the Mist was tough. I had like a torn meniscus. I was playing with a torn meniscus, which was just really annoying. You should know after all your situation.
Damn, situations.
17? No.
17 knee surgeries?
These knees are situations. I like how you
nuts.
put it.
So I got to go backwards. I got hurt in game 5 of the finals. Somehow I just like really, I don't know, stepped the wrong way, and I was hoping that over time it would get better. And as I was trying to ramp back up for Unrivaled, it wasn't getting better. But I needed to play. I wanted to play in the first season. It was mine and Fee's league. Like, I have to be here with my team. But it was annoying to like mentally have to deal with an injury and play through that. So I'm happy that I was able to come back year 2, be healthy, with a vengeance. We didn't make the playoffs the year before. Like, a lot of things were motivating me. I had multiple chips on my shoulder because people were talking shit basically how I was playing because I was more limited. I'm just really happy. Listen, I enjoyed my team. They were a bunch of pros.
Right.
Came in, did their work. We had fun together and knew that if we played together and connected, nobody could beat us.
You win 2 championships in Seattle.
Yeah.
And then you win championship with the Liberty that you were speaking of. It was highly contested. It was exciting. It was entertaining. What does that do for your legacy, though? You walked into UConn and you said you wanted to win 4 chips, and you did.
Yeah.
Right? You're #1 overall draft pick. You're the rookie of the year. You're a 3-time MVP. But I feel like when you leave a team that has a Sue Bird, that you get to win a championship, and you are the leader of a team that wins another, it changes the way your career legacy looks. What did that win do for you in New York?
Bringing the first ever championship to the franchise was nuts. Like, thankfully, I was able to win 2 in Seattle, and those were special in their own right. In 2018, with Sue, with Jewel, was so much fun just because it was the old Key Arena too. So like fans were more on top of you. And then we won in the bubble, which is cool, but it was like the bubble.
Right.
But to bring it to New York, like that was my goal, is I wanted to help bring the first championship here. But just the way that the fans in the city kind of wraps its arms around you is something that I've never experienced before. People know basketball in New York, obviously.
Love it.
But now they know Liberty all the time. There was people that would be like stopping me after the season, like, I can't wait until April. Like it's October. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, we can't wait until April again. Even just walking here, like people are like, we hope you get it done. We hope you guys are going to be back on the court soon, because they enjoy it. And have you guys been to a game at Barclays?
It is the single best basketball experience I've had.
Yeah, pretty.
Truly is. It was interactive. It was fun. A lot of times it get close to halftime, I'll leave because they got a Carbones in there if I'm at the Nets game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go get that spicy rigatoni.
Right.
But like even that, like every time out, it was something to do, something to watch, something to enjoy. But the actual basketball is good as well. Whether it's you, Sabrina, the way that you all play, I think those are conversations you have to have in negotiations as well. Look what we were able to do. But to win a championship and then for the experience to continue to heighten, how much pressure is that on this team to return to where you were?
Yeah, tons of pressure. And we didn't handle it well last year.
Right.
Because winning a championship is hard, but defending a championship is a different level. Mm-hmm. Because when you win, you don't always have that target on your back when you're trying to win. But after you win, that target is there every single game. And I think that we probably didn't do our best handling that as a team. We had some injuries, and it was hard for us to really get our chemistry and our flow. But now it's like we're locked back in.
Okay.
We know how it felt. I know how it felt to win, and I want that feeling again. I want to wake up with that feeling every single day to show everyone, like, it wasn't just a one-time thing. Mm. This is Liberty basketball, and this is what you're going to get.
Stu, you kind of skimmed over the bubble championship.
Yeah.
But then you also came back and said winning championship is hard. And we've heard all type of takes about, well, put an asterisk by the Lakers bubble championship. For somebody who played in that experience, I want to hear your take. Yeah. I really want to know, like, does that bubble championship count?
Oh, my championship counts.
I just want to hear from somebody that was in the bubble.
Hey, she said, got hot. Hey, she said, oh. She been chill. Hey, she been chill the whole time, laid back. You said that, she turned her head.
No.
I mean, it ain't me, but you hear all of the former NBA guys, and they sort of, people want to water down LeBron's legacy a lot. Yeah. And they'll say, well, that don't count.
That's why he asking her.
No.
So then now he can talk about how great LeBron is.
No, I don't want people to water down Stewie's legacy
so
either.
Good.
I don't want them to water down her legacy either. But that's what we've heard it thousands of times. Yeah. Actually,
you can't discredit that championship, no matter what you want to believe, because everybody was playing for a reason.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if any other team won the championship, they'd claim it too. I think that it's just different because there was no fans. You know, you're obviously in quarantine. You're all in the same place all at one time. But also, you could say that would make it harder.
Yes.
Like mindset mentality, when we were in that bubble at IMG, you couldn't get away from basketball. I couldn't ever leave and be like, I need to go like grab a coffee. I need to go just kind of get away from all these people. This, you were forced to be around everyone all the time. And I think that there's something that makes that hard too. Because you see like mentally, when you need a break from what you're doing, you get away. Well, there was no getting away. So yeah, we definitely count our championship. We were like smoking teams. I think this is a hot topic that I believe. We won in 2018. In 2019, I ruptured my Achilles. So I didn't play 2019. But I think we would have 2018, 2019.
Three-peat.
Wow.
You're never going to know.
Yeah.
But we would have ran it back with the same team.
Yeah. There's obviously the young names in the sport that are coming up. There's Caitlin, there's Paige, there's Angel. What are some of the differences you see in the first, second, third year players now with sort of the brand recognizability they could bring into league as opposed to what you guys were?
First, shout out to Paige, Caitlin, Angel, and the rest of USA Basketball. They're in Puerto Rico.
You showed up at practice the other day.
Yeah, I was at practice. And I was like, I need to go to New York. Good luck. I think what's interesting, and like, I don't know if there's a way to actually figure this out, but when you look at those three players specifically, they were like full cycle NIL. You know what I mean? They were there for all of NIL in college. And then they were able to bring those brands to the professional level and kind of build those relationships and help some companies and some partnerships take that next step.
To the W.
You know, to the W and to professional sports and bridge a gap that was kind of underserved as far as the brand deals behind W players or sponsorships and things like that, and show that there is a desire and a want to pay attention to these players year round.
Is that the Angel and the Caitlin thing? How people try to make it good versus evil and just that competitiveness though. And we've talked about it before. I've met thing with Tasha, like how they want to touch, hold, women's basketball players with these white gloves, where there was Jordan versus Bird. There, LeBron and Steph were fighting for years. Like that's great for the sport, right? To have that competitiveness. And why do they try to act like it's a problem when it's women?
No, I don't know. I would like to know that as well. I think that Angel and Caitlin, like bringing that competitive, bringing that spark, bringing that drama, if you will, to the W is something that was good for the sport. And it was good for the sport because it showed people that, when we step on this court, we can compete and we can go at it. And you guys know, like when you guys are on the field, you like go at it. But like when you get off the field, you dap up and you appreciate each other and know that there's like just tremendous amount of respect. I think that for whatever reason, women's sports, women's basketball, people want to try to find anything they can to like put people against each other. And it's like, our sport doesn't need this toxicity. Like we're all trying to build together. But when we step on the court, when we are competitive, you can't act like we're supposed to be friends.
Breanna, I have a question. Is it some of the toxicity good though? And because here's what I'm gonna say, right? Men are way pettier than women, right? Y'all got this let's stick together thing down way better than we do. You can separate us easy. You tell this one he can make more. If you leave this one behind, they're gonna leave you behind. But there's always been that level when it was the Kobe and LeBron puppets, right? Or, Michael Jordan and the Pistons, like all of those things, Magic versus Bird, like that level of competition, that level of we got to pick one is what makes fans, right? It's what makes the game. don't you think in a way it's good that the WNBA is getting to the point where they're building enough stars where people are like, I'm drawing my line in the sand with her.
Yeah.
I'm drawing my line in the sand with her. And I'm gonna watch her every time because I want more people to watch her game than watch her game.
Yeah. No, I think it's good. I think that sometimes players were having a hard time, like kind of adjusting to having all this, good energy, but also you have some negative energy on social media and stuff like that. But if we want to be in this class that we haven't been or the space that we haven't been before, as well as you take the good, you need to be able to take the bad. Because whenever they're kind of going in the negative direction, like LeBron, you see the hate, right? But you also know a lot of people love him.
Yep.
I do. That's my dog. I think he's dope.
No, but it's like you have to be able to take both.
Right.
If we want to be in this space where we're getting all the things we want, you have to be able to take both.
Yep.
And that's just the way it is. And like, don't let it rattle you. So I think that Angel, Caitlin, those two especially, like they don't let it rattle them.
Yep.
Yeah.
They know that they're like really elevating the game, and not everybody's gonna love them, not everybody's gonna hate them.
Right. You have to be able to pivot. That's accept, adjust, and move forward.
I like
with that,
that. Good job.
that's our little mantra. With that though, we always ask our guests their biggest pivot in life. That's that one moment you can look back on and say, because this happened to me or for me, I am who I am today.
I think my kids, like having kids just gives you a different type of perspective, because not only am I literally where my feet are at all times, because there's so many other things going on, practice and whatever and all this stuff we got to do, but wanting to do it for them. Yeah. So I've won before my kids were here, but now I want to win again so my kids can see me do that.
Yeah. You got kids now. I got to know for my gambling websites, how many more you got left in you? How many more years you got left in you?
A lot.
Oh, okay, because
I feel like I'm in my prime. I'm like 31. Yeah, I got a lot. I got things I need to do.
Where's gambling?
Yeah, you don't want. I owe you about 3-4 grand.
LA 28.
You know we can't talk about that.
Who's that?
We.
Man, that's legal now.
The players.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I was joking.
I didn't say anything. But I'm gonna keep playing.
Yeah,
CBA's happening. Come on, I'm playing.
You look at two of the greatest women's players of all time from UConn, Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi. Their legacy spans whether it's WNBA, college, obviously Olympic team. I think there's no greater honor in the world than to represent your country with the gifts that God gave you. So it's been so amazing to watch you, throughout your career. I think for you to be on the executive board, for you to speak up the way you do, and to have dealt with some of the personal adversity, man, it was great to get an opportunity to hear your story more full than I ever had it. Best of luck in the meetings.
Thank you.
Best of luck this season as well, and congrats on another championship.
Thank you.
No doubt.
You guys better come.
Hold up, limitless, niggas still got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless, niggas still got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up.